Hello everybody, welcome to Dreamers Meeting. We are going live today. It's Tuesday night here in Singapore, 9 p.m. Welcome you wherever you are from. It may not be night time for you, but whatever time you are in the world, so I want to welcome you to Dreamers Meeting. This is episode number 15. As usual, I just want to check if the sound and everything is all right from your end. So if you can comment in the chat box, please comment in the chat box, how is the sound coming through for you. Okay, there are times that I just broadcast but the sound wasn't going through, and then at the end of the day, nobody could hear the sound, so I gotta do this again. So it's good that if you can let me know early, then I can check it out and fix that technical problem before I continue. Okay, so assuming everything is well, so just want to welcome you back again. Today I'm using my iPhone again, and so I just want to not block my iPhone. So I hope that the image quality is better, and I have two source lights coming from both ends today, so I hope the lighting is also better. So again, want to do this Dreamers Meeting as well as possible, because I know you take time to tune in, so I also want to take time to set it up properly so that we can have this podcast and meeting as effectively as possible. So today just want to ask you, how's your week been? Have you been dreaming, or have you been drifting, or have you been pursuing what you have in your heart, or are you pursuing what other people have in their heart for you? I know a lot of times when we do this dreaming, it may not be an easy journey. In fact, this week I personally been reflecting upon my own journey of dreaming and really trying to get the most of the life that God has given to me. I realized that it hasn't been a smooth sailing journey, even though I think the last few years has been a smoother journey than before that. But nevertheless, when you are starting off in this journey of dreaming, it's really not easy. So I think that's the reason why I set up this podcast, so that I can journey with people who are considering dreaming, considering this way of life, a life of a dreamer, and so that I can journey with you, and we can build a community and a tribe of people who dare to dream, dare to pursue the big things that God has put into our hearts. I think a lot of times we think that this way of living is really so much more challenging, so much more difficult, but actually I personally feel that it's really not. Dreaming is really the best way to live our lives. When I say dreaming, I say opposed to doing. Okay, dreaming and doing. So dreaming relies on the ability of God to bring us there, whereas doing relies on our willpower. So between dreaming and doing, I always feel that dreaming is a better way of learning to trust the resources that God has given in us, and to trust a God that is able to carry us forward. So this is just my opinion, and this has been my own journey, and people may disagree with me, and in fact many people have throughout my life. I know that every time I'm a very public person, I'm a very transparent person, so a lot of things that I do, I am okay with letting people know my journey, what I'm going through, So a lot of times when I, for example, post something on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube, people will comment about my lifestyle, will comment about the type of risk that I take. They will shake their heads, and they will not. They will sometimes make fun of me. Yeah, I know that several years back when I started to sort of come out and do my own business, and I started to post pictures of me in cafes, because you see, I don't rely on a physical office to work. I would go to cafes, buy a coffee, and then start working in cafes. And Starbucks became my office, even though at one time I was using a co-working space, and even right now, I'm using different places like the gym and different places actually to work. And I can even go overseas, and set up my office in my home office in Malaysia just to do work. And a lot of times when people see this, so much so that when they meet me physically, right, they will always tease me or say, why are you always in cafes? They think that my life is all about just drinking coffee. But of course, it's not. Behind the scene, there are a lot of things that I do. I'm so glad that there was one time I was talking to somebody, and somebody said that she thinks that I am the hardest working person that she knows. Okay, even though I show forth that I'm always chilling, always relaxing, but I think behind the scene there are things to do as a dreamer. So how about you? When you pursue your dream, when you go about doing things, do you think about what people think about you? Do you get concerned how people view you, or do you feel that what God has put in your heart and what your calling is more important than the opinion and judgment that people put upon you? So yeah, this week has been a time of really reflecting upon my own journey, and I know when we talk about dreaming, people always think that is that it's a fairy tale type of life, where you just dream and you don't do anything. But that is not true at all. You dream, but you also act out what you dream. Before you can do something, you have to know what you are doing in the first place. So having a dream sets the target and sets the goal for us to move forward. When you have a dream, God will always put resources, people into your life to move you towards that dream. And that's the difference between the life of dreaming and the life of doing. When doing, you are just hustling, just taking the next step, and sometimes it can be tiring, and furthermore, you may not even know whether you are heading the right direction. So yeah, I work at Dreaming, and welcome to Dreamers Meeting. Anyway, today I want to talk about this thing that inspired me to talk about. I was watching Netflix, and it was a cowboy movie. It's about whatever. I won't let you know the name of the show. I can't even remember the name of the show. It was I can't remember. It was Jennifer Lopez and Redford. What Redford? Okay, Redford and Jennifer Lopez, and it was set in a farm, and during a scene whereby the usual Western movies in a farm, you will have gangsters, people coming into a cafe and try to create havoc, and then there was Robert Redford, yeah, that's his name. Robert Redford came forth and created a fight. So they fought in the cafes, and then as I was looking at it, I was just jokingly telling my wife, I realized that nowadays people in our modern world don't fight anymore, right? Because most of the time they are spending time on the phone, so they are so distracted now. They don't even fight anymore. So thinking about what is the greater evil, is it fighting, getting ourselves into trouble like that, doing something physical, interacting with people in that way, is that a better evil, or is everyone so numb, spending time on the phone, just scrolling mindlessly. Is that a greater evil? Well, I leave the decision of that to you, but to me, okay, I feel that the greater evil is when people are now so engrossed. There seems to be a mass psychosis where everyone seems to be so dazed, and no wonder young people are all getting into depression, getting into zombie-like existence of doing things mindlessly, not using the talent, the strength, the faculty that God has given to us. So I was in the MRT one day and I realized that everyone, okay, in front of me, that row, they were all using the handphone, and all the people on this side, okay, where I was sitting in my side of the row, they were all using their phone, and all the people on my right, they were all using my phone, except one little girl. She was sitting there and she has her book up open. And then when I tried to look at what she's reading a textbook called Conversational Korean. Okay, anyway, it's just a fresh sight to see somebody without the iPhone or without the phone doing things and scrolling. Okay, I don't know what they do. Maybe a lot of times it's work, it's proper things, but whatever it is, it's very refreshing to see somebody reading a physical book. So really, when you go out today, you see everyone is on the phone and they're all mindlessly scrolling, doing things. Then they forgot about what living life is all about. So, and I feel very sad. I feel so sad, so much so that whenever people criticize me, people talk to me about your lifestyle of always traveling, always meeting people, always sitting in the cafe, daydreaming, always out there living an active life. I just can't help but think about how the society is actually moving us the wrong way. I think technology, while it is good, and I use a lot of technology too, but I try to use it as a creator, a content creator. I'm not so much a consumer, even though I do consume a lot. And yes, I do have a problem with overusing my phone, scrolling, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, YouTube and all that. I do, but I'm very conscious about actually using it so much so that I try to be a creator more than I am a consumer, because I want to use the platform to influence rather than being influenced in that sense. So I just feel so sad that we live in a world where everyone is so entranced in using digital devices and technology, and sometimes we lose the very calling, the very faculty that God has given to us to use our mind and our imagination to create a life for ourselves and for the people around us, and to live life abundantly the way that He intends us to live. I feel very, very sad. So that's why it inspired me to today talk about this topic about saying no to using your phone, okay, and what are the simple but great things that we can do other than using the phone. Okay, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do, and it's physiologically something that can be done. So a lot of times, if you ask me, people will ask me, so how can you spend so much time in the cafe, so much time going for hikes? Sometimes you spend a long time quietly, in quiet time with God. How can you spend so much time traveling, in bus rides? And now that I'm not full-time working, how do you spend your days? How do you spend your hours? And when people ask me that, I really have to think about what I do when I'm not using my handphone. And today I try not to use my handphone so much because, okay, I got content to create with my iPhone. So a lot of times when I go out, I don't have a portable charger, so I don't charge my battery. So I only have one battery duration. Okay, how do you say it? Just one charge of the battery to use per day. So I purposely don't want a portable charger so that I can't charge it, so I can just survive on one charge, okay, of my phone. And a lot of times I got to go out there, and sometimes I got to create a content, and by the time I create a content, half the battery will be gone. So I purposely do that so that also I can spend more time being out there, maybe talking to people, meeting people. I go to gym a lot, so I can work on myself. And even in the gym, you see people, after the exercise, in between exercise, they'll be using their phone, but I would not do that. I will put my phone in the locker. And the question is, so what do I do when I'm not using the phone? Okay, of course, I do a lot of people watching. I watch, I learn, I observe. I learn things from looking at people, seeing people, and I feel that's how God reveals things to us, because we are all from Him, and in us, God reveals different things, and if we can learn from other people what God revealed to them, if you add that with what God revealed to you, you will have a greater understanding of God and a greater understanding of what life is all about. So that's personally my philosophy. If all our knowledge, all our experience add up, you'll find that's the image of God. That's the image of who God is trying to reveal Himself to us to be. And of course, that's found in Jesus, who walked on earth, and God's perfect example of what a human being should be. So having said that, yes, let me just share with you physiologically, right? What are the things we can do if we are not using our handphone? Okay, let's say, for example, you are in the MRT, you're in the train, and everyone around you is using your iPhone, their phone. So what do you do? Okay, so I would advocate several things here. So I have six things that you can do. Okay, one thing is this: always start with fundamentally what God created us to do. Okay, God created us to live, which is to breathe. Okay, I think I mentioned it in the last Wisdom and Confessionals, episode 14, that breathing. Okay, so practice breathing when you are not with your phone, and when you choose not to use your phone, okay, while everyone else is using their phone, mindlessly scrolling, you can master breathing. And breathing is something that a lot of people don't realize the potential of it. Okay, when you are breathing, you'll be calmer. You are breathing, you can think so much more. When you are breathing, you just live. Okay, when you are breathing, you don't get angry so easily. When you are breathing properly, you won't get frustrated. You won't worry as much as if you don't. Okay, so just consciously breathe. Okay, I've taught you how to breathe, right? To breathe through your nose. So take a deep breath. Okay, there's a mantra that we can say: be still and know that I am God. Okay, that's from the Bible. So breathe in, be still. Breathe out and know. Breathe in that I. Breathe out, am God. So just be still and know that I am God. So breathe deeply, not shallowly. Okay, don't breathe here and then breathe out again. Okay, that's very shallow breathing, and it doesn't help. Okay, being a shallow breather. So do deep breathing, where when you breathe in all the way to your stomach, all the way to the bottom part of your body, and then let it fill your entire being. Okay, and then you breathe out. Okay, and I advocate breathing through your nose. So that's the first thing you do. Okay, breathing. Okay, second thing you can do And you can very deliberately do this, so it doesn't, people will look at you and say, a waste of time, you are like staring into space. But you are not, okay? You are very consciously breathing. And it's an exercise that everyone should do and every human being should tap on. And it's so not used, okay? Not taken advantage of, something that God has given to us. So the second thing is this thing called mewing, okay? I will start from breathing here. And mewing is where you put your tongue on the top of your mouth, okay? The top of your mouth. Then you put your tongue and you rest your full tongue on the top of your mouth. So mewing is a process of you putting the tongue on top of the mouth, so that when you put the tongue on top of your mouth, okay, it does several things. Okay, one of the things it does is that it stop you from mouth breathing. Okay, so when you have your passageway blocked because your tongue is on the top of the mouth, you will breathe through your nose. So as you breathe, I would mew. Okay, I would deliberately mew. So okay, another thing that mewing does is that mewing helps you with the muscle in your jaw that helps you define your jawline a bit more. So as a guy, I think we learn to mew so that we will develop a better and more defined jawline. So it will help you in your physical attributes. Okay, it will help you. As you know, I've been losing weight a lot. As I lose weight, right, I want to shape my jaw, okay, to be sharper. So mewing is that process to help you make your jaw more well defined. So as a man, you can do it. Of course, as a woman, you can also do it. Okay, you can research this thing called mewing is by John Mew. I can't remember the first name of the person who developed this technique. Okay, and that's also a good thing for you to mew, so that you don't breathe through your mouth. Okay, your mouth is for eating, it's not for breathing. Your nose is for breathing. Okay, so consciously place your tongue on top of your mouth, so like this. So as I'm doing that, right, you can see that muscle has tensed up here a bit, okay, and it's creating a better muscle and structure, okay, and through time you will find that you have a better jawline, okay, that way. So breathe, first thing you can do, mewing, second thing you can do, okay, and third thing you can do, okay, is this thing called learn to expand your space. Because a lot of times when we are sitting down, physiologically we tend to hunch. Okay, I used to hunch a lot. My wife always asks me, okay, dear, don't hunch. Okay, sit up straight, or stand up straight. And nowadays I don't. She doesn't say it anymore because I don't think I have that problem anymore. So what I do is that as part of my breathing, okay, I will expand the space of where my body occupies. I expand my body so that it takes up more space, basically. Now, God has given you space. When God created you, put you on earth, right? It's okay to take up the space just a little bit more. Do you realize that when you are like hunching like this, right, you take up less space, right? But when you are expanding, you are taking up a little bit more space, just maybe 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter at most, okay, 1 centimeter, and that's all. And I think that space is yours, okay. So why don't we, as you take a deep breath in, right, as you breathe out, okay, you expand the space that you occupy, okay. That helps us build better posture, and it helps alert us as well, make us more alive, make us more like grateful that you are here on earth. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out, and expand. Okay, expand your body. So when you expand, you take up more space, you become more confident, you become you value yourself more. Okay, you have higher value, higher status in a sense. So breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe out, occupy more space. So that's called expansion of your space. Okay, that's the third thing. And the fourth thing then, what you need to do, I think human beings we need to ground ourselves. Okay, we need to be stable. We need to be grounded. So a lot of times, yeah, we talk about dreaming, we talk about going for our goals, about growing, right? So a lot of times we grow, but we forget to humble ourselves and to be grounded as well. So we need to dream, but at the same time be practical and be grounded. So how you do that is that in your breathing, and next time you breathe in, right? So I want you to imagine your breath, right? Feeling your entire lower body down to your ground, where your feet is, okay? And make sure your feet is firmly set on the ground. So like what I'm doing right now, I have my 2 feet on the ground. Okay, I have a carpet in between, of course, but I try to feel my entire feet on the ground. So when you inhale, you are imagining and you are feeling yourself being grounded. Okay, one thing that I like to do when I was younger is, as I get older, I'm more grounded. But when I was younger, I like to fidget. I like to shake. Okay, I like to, when I'm standing, right, I can't stand still, so I have to do this. I have to rock. And then when I rock, right, so if somebody walk past me and just give me a tip, right, I will tip over. And even sometimes when I walk, right, because I'm not grounded, right, I'm floaty, right, I don't have a good sense of balance, okay, when I walk. And that's because I don't consciously ground myself. So learning to breathe in and ground yourself helps us to be more stable, to be more calm, to be more confident and cool about our place on earth and how God has created us, the space that He put us to occupy. So I'm still working on it, because generally I'm kind of fidgety person. I like to move very fast, and a lot of times I cannot still stand still. But today I'm learning with my breathing exercises, right, to be more grounded. So that's the 4th thing you do, to ground yourself. Recently I watched something on Netflix, this thing called Physical 100. Okay, it's actually just fighters, right, fighting one another. So there's this round of competition where 2 person is supposed to fight one another. Okay, and then there was this pairing whereby one least experienced MMA fighter chose a very legendary, very mature and very renowned, famous MMA fighter. Okay, so he's like maybe 50 years old, and this young guy is maybe 20-30 years old. So he was trying to fight him, and I was a little bit worried about the older one, because he's like 50, about close to retiring age. I don't know whether he has retired from fighting or not, but I was so worried about him, not being able to keep up with a young person, right? But at the end of the day, I saw how the mature and the established fighter fights. Okay, he fight even though he's not fast, right? But he was so firmly rooted on the ground. And I saw the young fighter spend so much time, right, trying to grab the more mature fighter's leg, right, and try to off balance him, try to tip him over, right. But I think several times he tried, right, but that guy's leg is just so firmly grounded, okay, so firmly rooted on the ground. And that taught me how important is grounding is. So even when I go to the gym, right, I like to work on my upper body, but my lower body I don't spend so much time. And because of that episode and that thing, right, I say, okay, I gotta train my leg also, so that I gotta do more squats and do more things to strengthen my leg, and do all this breathing exercise to ground myself, so that I can become more stable and to become a more grounded person. Okay, well, I'm not using my iPhone. Okay, I'm doing this breathing exercise to ground myself. Okay, so number 5. Okay, I also learned that as you breathe in slowly and you breathe out, right, to learn to move slowly. Yes, this is again, I told you in the past, I do move very fast, I speak very fast, I just do things very fast. Okay, but I've learned to try to slow down what I do, okay, so that I have more time to think and reflect rather than do and talk. Okay, So learning to move slowly, so is also very important. So as you are sitting there, maybe everyone else is using their phone, fidgeting, right? Maybe you can practice as you breathe slowly to move slowly as well. And then the last thing, okay, what you can do in the time that you're not using your phone, okay, is as you do this, right, I want you to feel proud that you are taking care of yourself. So never feel guilty for spending the time not productive, seemingly not productive, right? Not using your iPhone, not creating things, not watching movies, not even talking to somebody, not doing all that. Okay, just feel proud, okay, and feel confident that you are taking care of yourself. As a parent, okay, I have three kids. Okay, I can say the same for my wife, that as a parent, right, the best thing I feel that children can do for themselves is that they can take care of themselves. I feel that I have fulfilled my role as a parent if they learn to be able to take care of themselves, right? To give themselves space and time to their own wellness, that they eat well, they exercise well, they take care of themselves, okay? And if they can do all these things that I just described, right, I'll be very happy. The greatest joy for a parent is to know that your boy, your girl knows how to take care of themselves, okay? And a good parent will never deprive children of that chance and that luxury or the necessity to take care of themselves. So I want you not to feel guilty about spending time with yourself, learning, breathing, learning to be rather than to do, okay? Learning to create space so that you can dream, so that you can know how you're created to be, to live life to the full. I want you to feel proud that you are taking care of yourself. I always talk about the analogy of a plane. In a plane, whenever there's an accident, okay, in the air, right, and when the mask comes down, right, they always ask you to put on your mask first before you put on the mask to the people that you're taking care of. So you got to take care of yourself first. So be proud that you're doing all these things to take care of yourself. Well, others are mindlessly scrolling in their phone and doing things, screen time, having more screen time and feeling more and more tired, more and more depressed, right? You are taking care of yourself so that when you are well, you are able to take care of the people that you love as well. And also, of course, give yourself that energy and space to pursue the dreams that God has put in your heart. So yeah, these are just simple but great things that you can do other than using your phone. So of course, what I do is I go hiking a lot, I go swimming a lot, I go to gym a lot nowadays. I spend a lot of time before God, in meditation, in prayer, and of course all these things matters too. But in a time whereby you are there with people and everyone is using their devices, right? This is physiologically what you can do to help make yourself a better person. So be 1% better every single day, and that's the call for what we are to do, okay, with this life that we have been given and we have been bestowed with. So yeah, just a short teaching about things you can do. So what else can you do? Okay, maybe you can put in the comment. What else can you do? Okay, when you are alone with other people using the iPhone and you are not, what can you do? Okay, you can put down in the comment. Please comment and please let me know. Okay, what do you do? So I hope you like this episode. Anyway, before I go into a time of contemplation again to end today, yeah, I just share with you some books that I've been reading. Yeah, again, reinforcing that, reading is so important, because the more you learn from another person, the closer you are to knowing and understanding who God created you to be. Because what God reveals to you is very different from what God reveals to another person. The more you talk to people, the more you exchange ideas, the more you get closer to what the type of human God created us to be. So, okay, I've shared this book, right? The 50th Law. Okay, this is a book by a rapper. So I'm learning things from a rapper, entrepreneur. Okay, he grew up in very tough circumstances. He's been in prison. He's done drugs. Okay, now he's an entrepreneur. So much lesson to learn from him. Okay, of course, I shared with you this one last week, right? About Philip Mary, who's a scientist who talks about synchronicity. So if you ever felt strange, sometimes you have this feeling that, you have done this before, or you are meant to be there, or some strange things coincide, and then you don't see any cause to it. It's not because of what you've done, but just synchronicity that brought things together. So you can learn about it. It's all scientific nowadays. And also, I'm reading this book by Jason Capital, as a young entrepreneur. Again, I like to learn things from the young, because they have access to so much of how things are moving. So this book is about higher status, about how to be a high valued person, how to live out your greatest potential. So I'm also reading this book. So these are the 3 books that I've been reading. So I hope that, you've been reading books too, and learning to grow, to become a better person, a better leader. Not asking for much, it's just 1% better. And I hope that by doing that, we'll see results, okay, at the end of this month, at the end of this year, and we celebrate together as dreamers pursuing what God has put in our hearts to do. So with that, I just want to lead you in a time of contemplation. So maybe this time our contemplation will be about what I shared with you just now. Okay, that if you can close your eyes and take a deep breath into your nose. Feel your lung. Feel the entire body, especially at the bottom part of your body. So breathe deeply. You can say be still when you breathe in, and when you breathe out, and know that I am God. Now, as you are breathing in, remember to mew, okay, to place your tongue on top of your mouth, and you breathe through your nose. Breathe in through your nose, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Let it fill your entire being, right? And then when you breathe out, okay, blow out everything that is not of you, that is not meant to be there. And when you breathe in, again, breathe the breath of life into your being. And as you mew, be aware of the formation of your jaw, the formation of your mouth in the right place. Imagine yourself being 1% better, even though it's physiologically a physical improvement. Okay, but that is improvement, right? Physical improvement to your jawline, make you more attractive, make you more high status and high value. Okay, as you breathe in slowly, Okay, next thing, I want you to imagine yourself expanding. Okay, as you expand, take up more space. Okay, whether it's your chest area, or your head, or your hips, or your feet. Okay, expand and take up more space, because these are space that God has given you when you were born into this world. You know, I was sharing with people, when the Israelites first came out of Egypt and when they reached the promised land, you know, the first thing that God gave the people of Israel was land, was a space for them to develop, for them to live in. God wants to give us space in the land of the free. We are no longer slaves, so we no longer need to be confined to defined spaces or limited spaces. We can take up the space that God has put us in. So expand. Feel your entire being expand to take up more space. Okay, next thing I want you to feel is the grounding. Okay, I want your 2 feet to be grounded onto the ground. Okay, wherever you are, your 2 feet ground. As you breathe in, let the air go down to feel your entire leg, and you feel the base of your feet onto the ground. Okay, ground yourself. You don't have to fidget, okay? You don't have to sway, you don't have to be unstable, but you can be firmly grounded and firmly set upon the ground. So next thing I want you to do is to learn to move slowly. Okay, you don't have to be quick. You can spend more time in meditation. Don't move off. Okay. When people call you, don't have to turn your head so fast. Okay. Learn to move slowly, surely. Okay, and with thoughtfulness. Learn to move slowly. And last but not least, I want you to be proud that you spend this 5 minutes, okay, this 5-6 minutes, you didn't switch off and just go about doing your own thing after you finish the talking part of the meeting, but you continue to stay on in this contemplation and meditation. Be proud that you are taking care of yourself. So as you take another deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in again, deep breath out, and final deep breath in, and final deep breath out. Okay, you can open your eyes, and I want to thank you for being here in Wisdom and Confessionals, episode number 15. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I see you again next week. Bye bye.